I'm Christina and I'm 18. That's not really a special age, is it? It's not like Sweet 16 or the big 21 everyone talks about. 18 feels like this awkward in-between stage where people expect you to know who you are, what you want, and where you're going. The problem is, I have no idea. Every morning starts the same, the relentless buzz of my alarm at 7 a.m., my mom calling me from the kitchen to get up and me groaning into my pillow. School is technically over, but I'm stuck in this limbo trying to figure out what's next. College, a gap year, jumping straight into work. I don't know. All I know is that lying in bed all day isn't an option, not if I want to avoid the barrage of questions from my parents. Today is no different. I drag myself out of bed and shuffle to the kitchen. Mom is there, pouring coffee and looking effortlessly put together. She works as a nurse, and sometimes I wonder how she does it, keeping everyone alive and sane while I can barely figure out what to eat for breakfast. "Morning, sweetheart," she says, handing me a piece of toast. "Any plans for today?" I shrug. "Probably go to the library or something." She raises an eyebrow. "The library? Again? What are you even doing there?" "Research," I mumble, around a bite of toast, avoiding her gaze. The truth is, the library is my safe haven. It's quiet, it smells like old books and fresh coffee, and it's where I can drown out the noise of the world. Lately, I've been diving into every self-help book I can find, hoping one of them will unlock some hidden part of me that knows what I'm meant to do. By 9 a.m., I'm settled into my usual spot by the window. My backpack is filled with notebooks, highlighters, and a random assortment of books I grabbed off the shelves. Titles like How to Find Your Purpose and The Passion Paradox stare back at me, mocking my lack of direction. I flip through the pages, jotting down notes, but nothing really sticks. One book says to follow your passion, but what if I don't even know what my passion is? Another says to focus on what makes you happy. But my idea of happiness is watching reruns of Friends with a Bowl of Ice Cream. Not exactly career material. At some point, I notice a flyer pinned to the community board. It's advertising a photography workshop at the local art center. I've always liked taking pictures, especially of sunsets and random street corners, but I've never thought of it as more than a hobby. Still, it sounds interesting, so I jot down the details. The workshop is on Saturday, and by the time it rolls around, I've convinced myself it's worth a try. I show up with my dad's old DSLR camera, feeling completely out of place among the other participants. Most of them seem to know what they're doing with their fancy cameras and technical jargon. Me, I'm just hoping I don't break anything. The instructor, a woman named Mia, is warm and encouraging. She talks about the magic of capturing moments and how photography can tell stories. For the first time in weeks, I feel a flicker of excitement. Maybe this could be it. By the end of the workshop, I'm hooked. I spend the next few days wandering around town, taking pictures of anything that catches my eye, a group of kids playing in the park, an old man feeding pigeons, the way the light hits the leaves in the late afternoon. It all feels so alive. But then doubt creeps in. Is this really a dream or just another passing interest? And even if it is my dream, can I actually make a living out of it? One evening, I'm sitting on the couch with my older brother, Alex. He's home from college for the weekend and has always been the successful sibling. He's studying engineering and already has an internship lined up for the summer. Meanwhile, I'm still floundering. "Hey, Alex," I say, hesitating. "How did you figure out what you wanted to do?" He looks up from his laptop, raising an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "I mean, how did you know engineering was your thing?" He thinks for a moment. "I didn't at first. I just knew I liked math and problem solving, so I started with that and let it grow into something bigger. Sometimes it's not about knowing right away. It's about taking small steps and seeing where they lead." His words stick with me. Maybe I don't need to have everything figured out right now. Maybe it's okay to start small and see where it goes. Over the next few weeks, I make a list of all the things I've ever been curious about. Photography is at the top, but there's also writing, cooking, and even learning to play the guitars. I decide to try them all one at a time. Photography becomes my main focus. I create an Instagram account to share my pictures, and to my surprise, people start liking and commenting on them. It feels good to create something and have it resonate with others. I also try writing, mostly short stories and poems, and find that it's a great way to process my thoughts. Cooking turns out to be a disaster. Who knew making pasta could be so complicated? But I have fun trying. As for the guitar, let's just say my fingers are not as coordinated as I thought. One day, while I'm out taking pictures, I meet a woman named Elena. She's a freelance photographer who works with local businesses and nonprofits. We get to talking, and she invites me to assist her on a shoot. It's a small gig, a family portrait session in the park, but I learned so much just by watching her work. She's patient and creative, always finding the best angles and making her clients feel comfortable. By the end of the day, I feel inspired. Elena and I stay in touch, and she becomes something of a mentor to me. She encourages me to take a few online courses to improve my skills and even helps me land my first paid job, photographing a friend's engagement party. It's not like everything magically falls into place overnight, but I start to see a path forming. Photography isn't just a hobby anymore. It's something I could see myself doing long term. I love the way it combines creativity with connection, and the idea of telling stories through images excites me. Of course, there are still challenges. I have to figure out how to turn this into a sustainable career, and there are moments when I doubt myself. But for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm moving in the right direction. 18 might not be a special age, but for me, it's been a year of discovery. I've learned that finding your dream isn't always about having a grand vision. It's about exploring, experimenting, and being open to possibilities. It's about taking small steps and trusting that they'll lead you somewhere meaningful. As I sit here, editing photos from my latest shoot, I feel a sense of peace. I don't have all the answers, but I have a dream now. And that's more than I had before. My name is Christina, and I'm 18. I may not have it all figured out, but I'm finally on my way.